Here's Allgaier on his second place finish. And in light of that question, Joe asked him about could a return to the Cup Series potentially be in his long-term future.
Justin Allgaier, great race today. Can you tell us, though, how disappointed it is, especially Shane van Gisbergen? Was there some contact out there, and do you feel that was fair or a little dirty?
No, I mean, it's just one of those days. I mean, had such a fantastic ramp finish on Coach Camaro all day. Did all the right things, just the restarts there. We were so free taking off, and every restart we were freer and freer and just made it harder and harder. And I didn't do myself any favors once he was able to get by me. I tried really hard to catch back up to him and probably just made the tires even matter. But, proud of the effort. This 7 team is unbelievable. I mean, they're truly incredible. To do what they did on pit stops today, the timing of the pit stops, I mean, just the whole day was really good for our team. Just I didn't do a good job at the end there. I didn't execute. And obviously SVG is an incredible road racer and made me pay for it today. So, I'm going to go to work. We'll go back to Sonoma next week and go out there and try to do one spot better and see what we can do.
Now, a lot of folks have been praising your efforts with the Coke 600 last weekend, just talking very highly about your driving. Is that something where you feel like it's just sort of like rejuvenating everything with the next few races for you, and especially getting people, again, talk about maybe you in the Cup Series?
I mean, it was a great honor to go drive the 5 car. I mean, they that whole team and the 5 team was truly incredible, and everybody at Hendrick Cars and Hendrick Motorsports and just all the partners on the car were awesome. As a fan, I wanted to see Kyle do the double, right? Like, that was my ultimate goal. And when I realized that wasn't going to be the case, my job was to go do the best job I could. And we did that. Obviously, it was a good finish for us, but it was a cool experience. I'll take away a really cool experience. Whether that translates to anything or not ever, I don't know. But I'm having a lot of fun where I'm at right here. And this 7 team's really special, too.
Good to see you again, and we'll see you at Sonoma.
Sounds good. We'll see you there.
All right, that's Justin Allgaier after his second place finish at Portland, coming up just short in the battle with SVG. Brandon, does Justin Allgaier deserve more credit for his road course racing abilities? He's won at Road America before, nearly beat one of the best road course racers in the world to win at Portland this weekend.
I think he does. He's a consistent performer when it comes to the road courses. He's the bridesmaid 2 years in a row there, actually, at the Portland Raceway. And then you look back at some of his other accomplishments. I look back at 2018 and see where he won Mid-Ohio and Road America in the same year. 5th place at the Indy Road Course just last season. And, I mean, yeah, he's always got a good shot there. The Roval 2 years ago finished 5th. Plenty of good finishes on road courses to justify that he needs that recognition, because he's always in the talks. If he's not there, he's always in the talks, and at least the top 5, top 10. You got to take him out for him not to run well at a road course.
Well, I want to follow up on a question that Joe asked, and probably if Allgaier had won the race, I would have asked this to him in the media center myself. But obviously we think of him as an Xfinity lifer. He's been with that junior motorsports team for the better part of a decade now, and obviously had a lot of success and done pretty much everything except win a championship. So, in light of what you just heard Justin say, in light of his performance last week and what we've been talking about on this show the last couple of weeks now, if he were to get that championship, do you think he should give the Cup Series another chance if he can find the right opportunity, or is he better suited continuing to make a career rather, out of racing on Saturdays at this point?
Personally, I think he's better off sticking with what he's already preached before. He's the Saturday star. And I think he fits that role perfectly. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest if he rode out into the sunset in the Xfinity Series, preferably with a championship. But if it doesn't come, that's not going to take away from his career already. But if he wanted to do something crazy and the wife and kids were okay with it, I mean, if he won an Xfinity Series championship this year and Rick Hendrick said, you know what, next year I'm going to put you in a Cup car, and maybe not a full-time schedule, but just a part-time rodeo, and you're going to give it everything you've got. This is going to be your farewell year, or, whatever he wants to do down the road. If there's some sort of farewell shot, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, I don't know how much longer his career is going to go, but that would be cool to see him have some sort of extended stay in the Cup Series in his final year, or, some sort of a send off where he can just give it everything he's got because it's going to be his last year. That would be neat.
Yeah, well, and again, I kind of felt this way when AJ Allmendinger, who we'll get to here in just a moment, made his return to Kaulig full time in the Cup Series last year. I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you, because I thought to myself, especially last year with 8 road street courses on the schedule, I just felt like that was a tailor-made opportunity for him to build on his momentum from the last couple of years and go win an Xfinity title. But he ended up coming back to the Cup Series, and I know they won a race at the Roval late in the year, but I think on the whole, probably not the greatest of seasons for him, and certainly didn't have the results that I think he would have had he stayed in Xfinity. And again, it's not a knock on his talent or saying that he is an Xfinity driver because that's only as far as his talent can take him. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's the case for Justin Allgaier. If Allgaier were to do that, I'd want it to be a situation where he's going to Hendrick Motorsports, or maybe there's a shock Carl Edwards type of retirement at some other team, and he gets a chance to drive for Joe Gibbs, or maybe a reunion with Roger Penske. I know it's been over a decade since he drove their Xfinity car, but you never know. That opportunity might come up, but I would want it to be something like that. I wouldn't want it to be, with all due respect, another H. Scott Motorsports situation, because he drove in Cup for a couple of years, but really didn't have the opportunity to show what he could do, and that forced him back to Xfinity. And to his credit, he's made a solid home for himself here at Junior Motorsports, and won a lot of races, competed for championships, and I think had a very solid career. So I would be hesitant to leave that. If I'm putting myself in Allgaier's shoes, I wouldn't want to leave that unless I knew, I was getting a Hendrick ride or a top opportunity in Cup for a couple of years. It's probably the only thing that could be tempting enough to leave the current situation in Junior Motorsports.
Let me present this offer to you. If Spire Motorsports continues to build with their technical alliance with Hendrick, would you consider that as an option?
That's a good question. Yeah. Well, again, I guess there's only one guy you got to ask, and it would be
he commits and just gets on board with NASCAR. What would you think? Put Justin Allgaier somewhere?
I think the audio cut out. Were you asking if Michael Andretti commits with Spire? Is that?
I interrupted your response, but I was just saying, like, to add to the spice, if Andretti went, fully committed to that, and got into that pod as well, would that heighten your interest in Justin Allgaier?
It would be tempting if I'm looking at it from the owner's perspective now. Allgaier would certainly be one of the top names on my list, and I think, again, what if he adds that to his legacy? He's kind of the one that helps build the Andretti Spire partnership in NASCAR. I mean, we're really taking a lot of liberties here with assumptions in terms of what's going to happen here. I know Michael still wants to get his F1 team up and running. That's his top priority now. But if that doesn't work out, hit roadblock after roadblock, I think Gamebridge connection, there's certainly an opportunity for him in NASCAR if he wants it. So maybe that would be something Allgaier would be interested in as well. But again, as for right here, right now, don't want to distract too much from the weekend he had, because he certainly gave SVG a run for his money. And again, I think proved that he's got a great thing going for him in Xfinity right now, and probably going to take a lot to pull him away from that, for whether it's a Cup opportunity or otherwise.